Hey guys, welcome into the show today. Look, we're going to be tackling a question right now. What is the modern way to sell life insurance? We're so used to old and antiquated ways of doing this thing, and some of you in your heart of hearts know that we're doing this completely old. Now, does the old model work? It still does, but there's so much effort that you have to put into these things to make it work that it becomes untenable for some of us to actually do. The endless cold calling, the dialing of leads, the getting hung up on, the getting, stood up for appointments, because of the old way that we're doing it, not utilizing the technology that we need to use today to actually push this thing over the edge. I don't care where you are right now in your life insurance business, it can be better. Literally, it can be better. And what we're going to discuss today are some of those things that we can do to actually make it better for you. Because at the end of the day, it's not only about helping families, it's about helping your family. It's about making the maximum amount of dollars that you can make. It's about being efficient. It's about not getting burnout, all of that. And when you look at the different tactics and strategies that are out there when it comes down to selling life insurance, many of us get burnt out. Many of us get burnt out. We're using models that were created back in the 1960s, still yet today. And I'm talking about cold calling. I'm talking about door knocking, things of that nature. And we know that one of the biggest complaints that people in our industry give is that I can't get anyone to answer the phone. How often do you want to talk to a salesperson? Just ask yourself that question. How often do you want to talk to someone trying to sell you something? We all carry around these things, right? We all know that we get spam calls, we get sales calls, and it shows right up on our phone, whether it's a spam call or something like that. And we don't answer those phone calls. And one of the biggest things that happens in our industry is that when people, our prospects, get a call from a number they don't recognize, your number, they don't answer it. They let it go to voicemail and then decide if they actually want to answer it, right? Now, if you're leaving voicemail, you probably should stop, especially if it's an initial call. But let's talk about some of these things, because even though the old models can still work, and you may have heard me say this before, I've said it so many times. Last year, I moved from Wisconsin to North Carolina. I'm an old farm boy from Virginia. Both my grandparents were big farmers. My father even has a master's degree in agriculture, of all things. I could have packed up a horse and buggy from Wisconsin. It would have worked. I'd have got here eventually. But instead, I used modern ways of doing it. I rented myself a 27-foot Penske truck, and I got here in 13 hours instead of 13 days. Now, you can correlate that to the old models that you're still yet using today in regards to how you're doing things. But let me ask you a question. Are you happy with where you are? Is it working? And do you have an understanding that it could actually work better? So let's talk about some of these things here, right? So what's the modern way of selling? First of all, you have to have an automated, predictable system in order to make this thing work. You have to have a constant flow of leads that are coming in. Now, some of you are still spending way too much money buying leads from lead vendors, and we have ways to make sure that you never have to do that again and get that constant lead flow coming in an automated, predictable way. But one of the main things that we know that we have to have is a constant flow of leads, period, flat out. If you don't have leads, you do not have a business. So that's one of the main things to consider and take a look at when you're talking about developing your business. When you have people, like we show life insurance agents how to do every day, when you have people that are booking appointments directly on your calendar, it's a game changer. See, what you're probably doing right now is you're buying leads or whatever it is that you're doing, and then you're just simply calling those leads, and you run into those same problems over and over again. You don't know if that person's really serious or whatever. Now, you're still going to encounter that, but what if you had a system in place that would actually have those people that are serious, and we can show you how to do that, to actually get appointments booked directly on your calendar that are ready to go because they're serious and know that they need life insurance. Now, even with that being said, one of the things that comes up or has come up now just in the past few years, and I want you to ask yourself this question here. If you could sell life insurance without ever talking to someone, would you be interested in knowing how to do it? Ask yourself that question. So here's the thing. I want to show you this website that I found. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here with you. And I'm switching cameras over here too. I want you to check out this website. It's called back9ins.com. Back9ins.com. And I'll probably put a link in the description for this. Now, I get nothing for showing you this, but I saw this and I found this actually last year. And it is something that is utterly amazing. I actually have an account, even though I don't sell insurance anymore here. So let's just type in my stuff. Let's make sure I got the right password and everything going on in there, and I don't. There we go. So now I'm in my account. Now, what I want you to understand and realize with this that you can do, you can sign up for an account with Back9. You do it the same way it is that you would operate when you are signing up with any agency or IMO. Don't worry about it. It doesn't matter if you have an IMO. You can sign up with this account, and you can go ahead and get contracted with whatever carrier you want to get contracted with. Whatever carrier you want to get contracted with. I'm not going to go through each of the features and functions because this is an amazing little thing here, right? But what I want you to do, or what I want you to see, is when I hit this button, quote and apply, launch quote and apply, I want you to see what happens. Now, when you set up your own account, you can have your fancy little picture, excuse me, there as well. But you can take any prospect by sending them this link. You can send this to any prospect, and they're going to be able to do all of this on their own from beginning to end without your involvement if they don't want it. So let's just start out here. We're going to type in Jack Lewis. I'm just using a fake name. And then we're going to hit the next button down here at the bottom. Great to meet you, Jack. What's your gender? Male. How healthy are you? They're going to put that. Nicotine, let's just put currently using nicotine. Cigarettes daily. They're going to be able to fill out all this information. What's your height, weight? I'll just use my own. 5'11", 220. What's your date of birth? Let's just pick May 5th, and let's put in 1975. Next, your client is going to be able to go through this. You're going to even, if you have a client on the phone, you're going to be able to go through this as well. So you can do this with a client, or the client literally can do this on their own. Now, what kind of death benefit do you want? Let's just say we're selling something like, let's see, what do we have? This is for a death benefit of, let's just go down to 50,000. Say we're selling something like a final expense, right? And this is for term. Let's actually, we want to do lifetime. All right, so we can go down to whole life, down to $5,000. But let's just say we've got someone in here and they want to do something at $50,000. Actually, can I take this down? Yeah, I can take this down more. Let's just say they want $30,000 of insurance. It's giving them literal quotes from different companies that they can select from, right? It's giving them literal company. Now, you can do accidental death, you can do term. We're just going to go with this. And so at $30,000, a guaranteed policy, a guaranteed whole life policy is going to be $67 a month. Excuse me. Guaranteed UL. And then the whole life policy is going to be $91 a month. Now, probably if we increase this budget, you're going to get a whole lot more quotes coming in. Whole lot more quotes for my age. I'm a smoker, so on and so forth. Well, the person here, Jack, is a smoker. All right, so now let's just take it down to 50,000. And you can see they can go through this and then literally select the plan that they want. They can do a guaranteed plan, universal life plan, a whole life plan, whatever. Let's just say they want the whole life plan, right? And they select this. All right, now it's going to start asking them for their email address and things of that nature. We'll just say jack@gmail. Sorry, jack@gmail. If you do actually have an account, we can do 410-334-5678. Have no idea whose phone number that is. And then we're going to continue. But you're going to get all of this information. So now that what they can do is they can look at, okay, it's a nationwide policy, $50,000 in death benefit. It's going to be a whole life product paid up to age 100 in the state of North Carolina. Okay. And what we can do, let's see, what's under show more details. Okay. That's what's under show more details. And then we can go on with the continue. It's going through Jack's contact information. A lot of this I won't be able to go through. But invalid email address. It detected that already. So let me just use one of my own. earl@earlhallstudio.com. All right, next. Now, what's your address, Jack? It's going to go through all of the information that you need to go through to fill out a literal application all the way to the end. And literally by the end of this, they're going to either be able to purchase on their own, or you're going to go through it with them. I'm just trying to pull up my main screen here. You're going to be able to go through it with them or not. If you go to this website and you sign up, and there are many agents that have, you're going to be able to set up a strategy, especially if you're getting leads, to consistently stay in touch with people, the people that haven't per se answered the phone or a text message. They may go ahead and click this link that you've developed so that they can go through it on their own without having you involved. We now today live in an age and in an era where we don't want a middle person involved in many things. We would rather wait 2 days to get an Amazon package than to go up to the store and deal with a salesperson. We would rather order food, have it delivered, as opposed to going to the restaurant. We're accustomed to now taking away the friction of actually doing business. Now, the reason why this is so key is because now you're playing on a playing field where we all live, as opposed to door knocking, as opposed to cold calling, which none of us like. You hate it. Why do you put your clients through it? You got to start thinking about this. Think about your own actions and what it is that you do. But when you start implementing some of these newer strategies that are out there, weeding out the old ones that you're doing and slowly integrating these new things that are out there, it's going to be a game changer. Look, I hope this has been interesting to you. Please leave me your comments. If you haven't liked or subscribed to this YouTube channel, make sure that you do. If you haven't gotten our free training on how to sell exclusively over the phone, you want to make sure that you join our Facebook group right over here at ArturoJohnsonConsulting.com/AA. And also follow us on all of our social media. Like, subscribe, comment. I'll see you on the next video. Take care.